comes in, they can jump into intention distraction. So I'll start. For me, the intention is to lead this call, and for Chuy to be here vicariously through us and the progress that we do in this sync call. And I have no distraction whatsoever. And on my playlist this week, uh, again, just ambience on different soundtracks for movies. This YouTube channel that does ambience on anything from The Godfather to Star Wars to anime to uh, so that's just music for work and so that it's not silent in the room. And that's pretty much it. I'll pass it to David.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Let me see if I'm still muted. I'm not muted. That's good. Intentions to get further plugged in and dialed in with the comms program at Tech and learn a bit about next steps ahead. And my distractions are, let's see, not really any distractions today. I do got some laundry to cycle through, but that's easy to manage. And the playlist is blank. I've just been enjoying a little bit of silence lately. And with that, I will pass it to who's left here. Let's go over to Zeptimus.
Thanks, David. Yeah, it was intention distractions. My intention is, think with you guys. See how are we going. I feel like we're going to do comms around the dashboard, I guess. And yeah, for the music on the playlist. Oh yeah, I've been listening Lil Bubble a lot this week, and he's awesome. I'll pass it to Ivy.
Thanks, Zep. Intention is to sync with you and see where I can support and know what's the plan in the coming this week for the for Twitter and other comms platforms. So yeah, distraction. I have a bit of cough. So that's my distraction. And for the playlist, I've been listening to Lainey. It's a band from LA. So yeah, I don't know if you know them, but they're quite popular in the Philippines because the lead vocalist is handsome. It's very good looking. So yeah, and I pass it to Griff.
Yeah, that's funny. That's so funny, Ivy. Yeah, let's see, music. Been listening to a lot of Modest Mouse lately, like old school Modest Mouse. We were just listening to early 2000 like alt music, like Franz Ferdinand, and like some more like pop but obscure-ish, not so overplayed. Yeah, that was kind of. I'm in an RV, so it's like we're driving around and there's actual music to be listened to. It's kind of cool. And as far as what's the other thing? Just like intentions for the call.
Yeah, intention distraction playlist. Yeah.
Oh yeah, distractions. I'm in sort of like in two calls at once. The Gardens call is at the same moment, and there's some. Both Giveth and the TEC need to be in Gardens, but so I'm a little hopping between two calls. But intentions is just to like figure out what like we want to communicate to the world this week. About the Hatch DAO and like what the steps going forward are. There's some votes and maybe just to like figure out how we want to approach that. And I'll pass it to Nate.
Thanks, Griff. Intentions are to sync up with you guys about the upcoming changes in the TEC, which is really cool. Getting people revamped about this launch, really. And then distractions. It's been been a wild week for me, but it's been good. So, mentally there's small distractions, but nothing big. My playlist has been kind of empty this week. I've been kind of with David on this one. I've been just reading and writing. So, yeah, I'll pass it back to you, Melvin. Thank you for leading this call, by the way.
Yeah, anything for TC and especially for Chuy. Okay, so the agenda for the call today is the first points we already passed. Obviously, I'm going to be leading this call. The Lisa's podcast with Griff is a point on the agenda. Lisa interviewed Griff for her economics design YouTube channel podcast, which if you guys have not checked it out, it's a great resource for going in depth into things happening within DeFi and the cryptosphere. She she goes very deep into the protocols, the incentives, the mechanism design, and all that. She wrote a book about it. Second edition is coming. And I'm going to be translating that to Spanish. So as a negotiating bargaining chip, I got Griff to go in there and present. We're still waiting on that to come out, see how it goes, see if that gets us some traction in terms of people coming in and knocking on the door, seeing what we're about. And well, with that being said, moving on to our next point, we did some Twitter analytics last week, just checking on the stats that came on as a result of the hatch and all the outreach that we did, all the posts that we put out there. So let me see. I'm trying to find the group where all of this is at. If you guys either Ivy or David, which pretty active on that group, if you see the exact part where the stats are.
Where are you looking right now, Manu?
At the Twitter group we have. Okay, I think I found it. Okay. Yeah, okay.
The 5-person chat group?
Okay.
Yeah.
I can, if you want, Manu, I can share my screen so I can see the live analytics from Twitter.
I got it. I assume you guys are seeing my screen right now?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a 28-day summary. Yeah, I think just trying to read through this. It's weird why the tweets went down. I'm sure we had a lot of activity going on, but the tweet impressions went up by a lot, which is good. People were getting engaged, especially, probably because they wanted to contribute to the hatch. A lot of profile visits managed to increase by a lot as well, and 208 followers. That's it's almost 20%. So probably more than 20% because it was below 1,000 before those followers got in. So that's how we're doing with the Twitter stats so far. This is another graph showing if anyone want to comment on this, please go ahead. I'm just showing these for the record, see some of the engagement that we have, and this is a premise as to how we can move forward, seeing the progress that we had last month and trying to change gears now. how can that inform the progress that we ought to have in this month? We'll do sprint and the second half of August. So if anyone has some ideas, please feel free to jump in. If not, I'll just keep going through the stats really quick.
Well, I'll just say one thing somewhat related is that we're going to start, as per Chuy's direction, I'm going to start trying to solicit conversations and actual asking questions of our Twitter followers in an attempt to produce a back and forth, slow-paced conversation. Instead of just making observations and comments and hoping that they will speak up, I'm going to proactively reach out and try to pull them into a conversation. So next month, when we look at these stats and analytics, we should see an increase in that type of conversation.
That's great. That's great, David. Yes, I remember we did say that. There's room for improvement in terms of engaging people and just talking with them. Honestly, the best way to do it is just offering some help. You can onboard them, even if it's a service that you directly cannot provide. Make sure you check with someone else. For example, David, since you're going to be engaging, you can offer people an onboarding session. I can do the onboarding, so I'm giving you that type of that ability to broker out an onboarding meeting with other people, and if they accept, then just talk to me and I'll put them on the schedule. So that type of thing, just seeing how
Wonderful.
seeing how you can help them, and that's the easiest way to get someone. And it's basically three things that we want to imply on our posts. We want to be enthusiastic, very enthusiastic. So, I mean, it's always better to finish out a sentence with an exclamation point than it with a period. I mean, devil's in the details, really. These things just add up. So just seem enthusiastic when you're engaging with other people. Emojis help as well. Being sharp as a tag also, number 2. So try to go into depth. Again, there's Ivy, there's Acid Laser, there's me, there's Chuy, there's Septi. There's a lot of people who come in and go, but we have a lot of contributors on the communication. So there's a lot of crowdsourcing in terms of what to respond to someone. So always try to find a response that's valuable for the other person. We're not just trying to express our feelings here. We're trying to communicate something that's valuable, and we want to be problem solvers in whatever issue, doubt, or question they're coming up in Twitter. So be enthusiastic, be sharp with your answer, incisive. And number 3 is appear as an authority figure, right? So always, if the credibility and the reputation that we've amassed so far in the TC and within our ecosystem, with Common Stack and with Block Science and with One Hive and with Token Engineering Academy, with all these people, if that's not an argument, an expert argument, so to speak, then trying to find a way to relate to the resources that would elicit this authority figure response on the people. And with those 3 things, people are going to be sold on us. They're going to be curious about what we want to do. Maybe they're going to be entitled to reciprocate if we did them a favor. So they're going to want to join in and see what else we have going on for them. So those are my pointers in terms of Twitter engagement, David. Obviously, it's not only you who I'll be doing some engagement too. If other people wanna jump in and engage people who have questions and responses, then by all means take the initiative and do it. And yeah, okay. So moving on to
Can I add something to that, Manu?
yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I think it's a really great idea, David, and I really appreciate you going after this because I think it's really important to keep engaging with people on Twitter. It is a dangerous game, though, and so I was going to say, like, if you can, at any point in time, just keep an eye out on things that are, kind of rules and boundaries that you've experienced, and saying, like, hey, don't do this, don't do this, try this, like. Kind of develop a informational infrastructure for other people to participate in this type of engagement later on. So, if you can, that'd be really awesome.
Yes, that's a great point. We need to. This is something Durga said, and again, very profound. Like he usually just says things. He said that our cultural. He said that our cultural actions need to be informed by a written standard, right? So the example in here would be, sure, we want to show people that it's more than the tech. It's also a family that we're building, a community, and everyone's pretty close to one another. We help one another. We appreciate and praise one another. But I mean, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? We might seem like we're just excited, but we don't want that to be misinterpreted for shilling or spam or that kind of thing. So definitely this is a thing that as we go along, things are gonna procedures are gonna get more in stone. But for now, let's try to see what works and what doesn't. And what does work, let's make a note of it, mental note, and then later on we can aggregate all those notes and come up with an approach that's standardized. Does that answer the issue, Nate? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Yeah. So moving on. Anything else? Anything someone want to add? No? Okay. Moving on to the next agenda point. We need a post-hatch audit. So, Septi. Septi, you're specifically referenced here in the agenda. This was the work of Chuy. So, if you want to speak a bit about this agenda point, we can take it from there, Septi.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Actually, like last call, we were talking with on transparency call, we were talking with Ivy. Like, I was feeling some uncertainty, like on the how funds management are going to be working, and I saw like comms already going ahead on the game and drafting stuff. So it would be so cool to like check it out together and do the audit post batch, especially like the financial part of the audit. Yeah, like I'm up to like get an agenda together and hack on it together. It would be so cool, and then it would help to build like have more clarity on how this part is going to work, and yeah, implement it also on the rest of the working groups. So that would be so cool, and thank you for doing the like comms is ahead on that part.
Okay. Well, thank you, Septi.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to schedule it, I don't know if it's going to be with you or with Chuy, but for me, we could schedule it like now if you guys want to do this.
Yeah, yeah, we can schedule it now. It's probably gonna be Chuy, although I always love helping Chuy in whatever uh he he wants me to. But yeah, let's schedule it right now. Um, when do you think like next week?
Yeah, like when's Chuy coming back from holidays?
I think at the end of this week. Actually, on a second thought, I wouldn't want to schedule something
Yeah,
for Chuy.
yeah.
So let's just
I,
wait.
I'll DM him. I'll DM him. Thank you,
Okay,
Manu.
okay, let's just wait. Yeah, yeah. He's not completely off the grid. He's just taking a break at a small beach in Mexico, which I mean, since he showed it to me, I'm bound to go there now. So, um, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
is he in Cancun? Is that where he is?
no. That's where foreigners go when they
Yeah,
wanna
but he's in
when
the same state, right? Oaxaca.
no. It's actually it's called Cipolite, and Cancun is in a state called Quintana Roo in the peninsula, and it's
Oh
the
yes,
Caribbean.
yes.
It's the Caribbean part of Mexico, Mexican Caribbean.
Now
Um,
it's coming back to me.
yeah, Tulum is there too. But this is Oaxaca is actually by the Pacific, so it's on the other side. And I know Griff has gone there to see Watanejo, which if in Shawshank Redemption, that's
Yeah.
where that's where Red goes to meet the I can't remember the name, but when he
Oh yeah,
escaped, yeah. So
you know what?
that's
I've been into Zihuatanejo.
there.
Been
You
in
go.
that airport. Yeah, very
There
cool.
you go. Yeah. He's close. He's close to there. He's close there. Yeah.
Oh man, must be beautiful. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, moving on. There's really just another issue on the board, although it's an intricate one. It deals with CRM and HubSpot and getting getting that incorporated into the process.
Yeah. Maybe I can take. I added this one to the list. Maybe I can jump in there. So one of the things that Dan and Chris from the Common Stack were recognizing, and I think Ivy also was getting some of this feedback, was that a lot of people were telling us, "Oh man, we didn't know the hatch was happening," because they don't follow Twitter or anything. But we sent emails, and that's what connected them to the hatch. So. Just from that feedback, maybe starting to integrate a little bit more strongly the email presence and notifications into our like strategy. And I believe Nate, I think you have access to the HubSpot, right? And then
I do, yeah.
yeah, and so yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the integration that we need to have for that will require a paid plan. But we can still do emails, but we have limited amount of templates at the moment. So right now we have a HubSpot proposal that we were going to plan on submitting for the Commons after the Commons upgrade. But that's still up for discussion. So
Well, I'm happy to cover the paid plan.
Okay.
And then we can, if I get retroactively rewarded for it, that's cool. If not, that's okay. But I don't want that to be a blocker for sure.
Okay, so you just want to go ahead and move forward with it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
And
cool. Yeah.
we can, and if assuming, man, yeah, I feel weird not having Chuy validate that opinion, but I think it's fine.
I've definitely talked to Chuy about it before. He's all about it. It's just we were waiting on the full paid plan. permission.
Nice. Yeah. No, I can throw down, and we can push this forward.
Yeah, and we can hype the an email newsletter or any sort of email connection on the Twitter account and start directing people to sign up there.
Yes, definitely.
Griff, who's gonna take charge of the Hubspot? Is it gonna be you, Nate?
I will have admin access, but I do not care to lead it. Durgados is definitely an expert in HubSpot, and he has been guiding me through how to set it up and transparency. And Septimus has plans for access, so that's where we're at right now. And we can easily integrate Twitter after we upgrade the plan.
Okay, because I don't think Durgas wants to lead it either. I'll double check with him.
No, he's just the SME for this.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a spot open to lead the HubSpot.
Have you heard much from Craig about that kind of stuff?
I have. We've been going back and forth, but he's been pretty busy elsewhere, so I'm not sure if he wanted to lead it. He would be a really good option because he's definitely experienced with HubSpot.
Cool.
Okay. Well, there's Craig. If not, I'll learn about it and lead it. I mean, I've been working on digital marketing business development for a while, so it's just a platform that aggregates all the things that I had to do manually into one single thing. So I can definitely learn about it and do it if someone else more experienced is not up for the job. So okay.
Yeah, and we'll work it out because I think the only thing that we have concerns about is just there's a little bit more information and data that needs to be protected, and so we have to have a little bit more stricter rules around access and who's participating in this.
For sure. Okay. Well, there aren't any more points in the agenda, but I do have something to add, and I'm glad Griff's here because it's gonna need some input from one of the technocrats. There is an opportunity for me to acquire a Discord bot. Some friend of mine / coworker that used to work in a startup with created a Discord bot that would, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Pomodoro technique, which is it's a time capsule of 30 minutes or 25 minutes, and it's uninterrupted time. So you put your smartphone on airplane mode, you do not check social media, you are not going into YouTube or Google or whatever. It's just 25 minutes of just uninterrupted work. And so what he did was he had a Discord bot where we would have tasks, and we could either make a task for ourselves, or he could put a task on us, and then we would do a Pomodoro, which is just like it's a command, right? Like kind of like praise, would be like exclamation point Pomodoro, and then it would start a timer counting down from 30 minutes. Of course, it's gonna be like an hour, and that just I don't know. I like the way that just kept the um the the costs, the time costs of the activity were estimated properly, and from that on, estimating for the activity durations, and then the activity costs and cost management and all that. So I see both sides of the coin. On one side, it's nice to have more like that type of more accurate input. On the other side, it would demand that the work that we do, people would need to, would need to be incorporated. How does that play into? I honestly see it as a variable that could go into praise or source grid eventually, but yeah, it's a pretty big change, and there might be some unintended consequences, and it might just constrain things. So I'm just putting it out there to see what the community thinks on this, and I'm interested to especially hear what Griff thinks about this. So
I mean, what would it look like? So you just add this Pomodoro bot to the Discord? I mean, is there some kind of like, would we have to, you said acquire, do we have to buy it from him or something?
No. It's he gives it to me, and we just clean it up. Probably we can do that, and then just put it in here, and maybe just tweak the Pomodoro to like, well, there can be one that is 30 minutes, another one that's an hour. So free of charge, he's gonna just share it with me. We can clean it up and modify it. I'm just wondering where, and I mean, this is something for time as well. I just think it's an improvement because I feel like a lot of the issues right now from new contributors is they want to come in and they want to work, and they just don't have this type of like a plug and play mechanism for them to start contributing. And on the other side, we don't have a mechanism for us to start like valuing the way they contribute. So I see these as a solution. On the other side, like depending on these too much and being like, oh, it took 2 hours for you to do something that someone else could have done in 30 minutes. I mean, some people have different styles of working. So we definitely don't want to be biased against people who take longer but do the same amount of quality or better. So that's a concern that was that's just out of my mind of concern. But I'd be interested to see how we can apply this to just increasing the accuracy of contribution reflected in tokens. I think that would prevent some of the crises that we had last time.
I think the best bet is to talk to, make sure it can be integrated properly first before, like, I mean, it can, adding a bot to the Discord is never really much of a problem if you want to give it a try. But then, like, for it to be integrated into source cred and praise, we'd have to really, I haven't been like so deeply involved in like the progress there, so it's really more of a Matteo, Livia, and Santi question about like if this would have a place. I also know that YGG has a bot that's somewhat similar that like records the time that you're in a call, and so you can kind of do the same thing where it'll just like, you can just invite it into your Discord, and it'll just record like these people were in this video in this room for this long, and at this, from this time to this time, and then that same data could be used for something. And since it's YGG, editing the bot and all that stuff would also be would be pretty easy. So, but all these things need to go through the reward crew, like they're the ones that would be they're the main stakeholders here.
Okay, cool. Well, if it's YGG's bot, it's even better. So, okay, cool.
But I think you're nailing it. I think it would be really cool to be able to have an easy time record of like who's in calls and stuff, or like anything.
Yeah. I think it's a medium term play, but I think it definitely pays off, especially if we already have the script at least 89% ready. So I'll talk to Matteo, Livy, and Santi to see if this to see where this goes. Okay, well, those are our agenda points for today, but we are way before the end of the hour. So if there are some other impromptu, go for it.
I do have actually, Lauren had something that she wanted to add.
Yeah, please.
Okay, guys. Sorry to like half jump in here. I was just on another call. I actually wrote about it in the comms channel. I had a couple of people that I helped onboard into that hatch reach out to me asking, like, what's rage quit TCH? Should I rage quit my TCH? And I was thinking that it would be really valuable for us to maybe create like a blog post explaining, like, entitled something like, so you joined the hatch, now what? And explaining like what is rage quit, and like what we're working on now, like with the commons configuration dashboard, and then like kind of rough estimates of when participation is like going to be called in further, and then like what you can do with your TECH, and like creating proposals with the dashboard, and then like joining debates and all this stuff, just sort of like the ideas of like what's coming. I think it would be really nice to give like an overview post for the people who join the hatch who are not like so actively involved in the TEC already, just so they get like an idea, but like written to that audience, because I think that audience is like a pretty big one right now.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Do you envision that being a blog post and then like just massively tweeted and sent out, and we can even do the email?
Do you envision that being a blog post?
Yeah. Oh, what? That's what I was saying. I mean, yeah, I was.
He asked you a question.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you well, Nate. Yeah, I think it would be cool to have like as a blog post, and then like a blog post we could tweet about and then share about. Just because then it's like one central place that can be easily referenced.
That sounds perfect.
Okay.
I'll work on that too.
A while back, there was a discussion about not having enough Medium articles. Is that still an issue? I think what Lauren brought on is a nice segue into that somewhat forgotten issue. Is that still something that we need to be working on, more Medium articles?
Actually, regarding the Medium articles, last transparency call, Zero was joining, and he's writing posts on Agave and OneHive, and he was interested on help out in here too. I told him to DM Chuy, but yeah, just like he's interested in writing something.
Okay, that's good to know. I talk with Zero every other day or so, I'll check with him about that, and if he needs help, I'll help him write the article. Thanks, Septi.
Yeah. I think it's great to have this blog post in Medium, because I think in the past what we've seen on our Medium page is mostly the weekly updates or the leaderboard, and we haven't seen any post yet. So yeah, I think it's good to have it on Medium.
I want to say one thing also, like regarding some topic from before, like when we were talking about Hubspot and CRM, like the Ivy just posted like a couple of hours ago a forum post for our processes for giving credentials to new contributors, so that should not be a block anymore. Like it's done. Like we're still working on the advice process. I still need an answer from Tam and Chuy to keep working on that. But regarding the rules for giving access to new people, it's done, and it should.
But do we? Sorry, Zepti. Yeah, that's awesome. I just wanted to ask about the security aspect of it. Do we have a structure for like the emails and who's giving out permissions and who has access, like within HubSpot, like for certain tasks?
Well,
I modified those, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about it as well.
Yeah, actually, like for example, if in that case, I don't know, if Durgadas Manu or whoever wants access to HubSpot, like the idea is, like we say who wants the access, what kind of access this contributor wants, and what he's going to do, and then we put a poll on the Steward channel, and if no one blocks it on 24 hours, then we just give the access, and like the like if the stewards do not block it, then it goes. And yeah, that's our security. I mean, you have to trust the contributor somehow. So I mean, if we want to improve it like the security, I'm all ears to keep improving it. So if you have any suggestion.
I'll take a look at what you have with Ivy and transparency, like the process of it, and then I'll DM you from there.
Awesome, thank you, Nate.
And then another topic that I think is worth mentioning is that there will be some votes coming up. It's going to take some time to get them through the advice process and such, but for sure there's 3 pretty interesting votes and there'll probably be a few more that will come through the hatch now. Obviously, there's maybe I can give an update on the dashboard too. So first, the dashboard process. Our plan is to have like regular releases on the dashboard, so that with the intro section and the learning section and the token thaw being the first release, and that will hopefully come out and be playable within about a week. And then every week we'll add a module or 2 on a regular basis. So that's kind of the plan for that. And so, but with that process, we won't really start voting on or start proposing parameters for about a month. So we have this like month-long lull where we're gonna do some other votes as well. The first vote comes from the praise debates, the 75% governance power to people with impact hours. And that's going to be a relatively complicated vote, or like, we have to figure out how we want to do it. But basically, not figure out how we want to do it, but like figure out exactly what deductions were, since now we have Praise-Mageddon and we have the deductions that we had before. So it's not as simple as just like, oh yeah, here's the numbers, let's do it. The numbers need to be like created. But either way, we'll put this through the advice process, and we'll see if that goes through. Another vote is that some people have lost their keys in the month that we have had this, and some people might want to change their addresses. And so if that's the case, I'm tracking some of them down, and we'll have a vote to burn their tokens in the address that they have them now and mint them in a new address. And then so that'll be another vote. And then the third vote that might be interesting is when we do the commons upgrade, we may want to consider being the first people to buy the tokens out of the bonding curve ourselves, and allocating a percentage of the funds towards that, and holding TEC tokens for like rewards, for instance, for source cred and stuff. And because that'll be the cheapest that we can buy the tokens, so we might as well collectively take that benefit. Is another concept. There's another vote that's likely to happen. Oh, and another one that's going to happen for sure is on the covenant. Like agreeing to a sort of constitution for conviction voting and disputable voting, about like what rules we want to have as a community around Celeste, and like what kind of votes Celeste should be able to say no to. Yeah, and there's probably a few more votes. So in this month period, there's like some DAO votes that are found, that are cleaning up from the cultural build, and also setting the stage for the commons upgrade. So there's some.
Can you explain the vote 1 a little more?
Yeah. So vote 1, if you look up no abnormal intervention from the praise debates, in there it actually suggested doing a vote that says like all the people who were deducted because they were paid, they shouldn't get money because they were paid, right? Like, and that was kind of the deal. But maybe they should get governance rights. And the exact technical solution for giving them governance power is up for debate. But before even diving into the technical solution of how to give them governance rights without giving them liquid tokens that they can sell, we need to decide if we want to do it. So the DAO would have to vote on basically to say, hey, all the people who got less impact hours because they were paid, let's redeem their impact hours, that were taken away, up 75% of the impact hours that were taken away. Let's give it back to them as governance rights, but not monetary value. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
this.
got it.
Yeah. This is the challenge with crypto in governance, is that like governance tokens like combine money and governance rights. And so this would be like a way to, hey, should we separate governance rights from money for these people and reward them with 75% of the governance rights they should have had they not been paid?
Okay, thanks for explaining.
Yeah. Now, I will say that all of these votes are very difficult to pass. So they will require 8% quorum and 88% support. So if there's a small group that doesn't like one of these votes, it's very easy to stop it by voting no. That doesn't add to the quorum. Like when you vote no in Dandelion voting, which is what our DAO uses now, when you vote no, it doesn't add to the quorum. It only subtracts from the support. So a few no votes could probably kill any of these proposals. So if it's not a fuck yes by the community, then it's a no, which is kind of cool, and so this month-long period is really about this, like setting the stage for the Commons upgrade and cleaning up between. And it is a DAO. We are now a DAO, and we have this voting system. And so I don't know exactly what to do with that, other than to make sure that you guys are in the loop, and that it is a comms. It will be a comms adventure.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to just this kind of promote voting events and just kind of create traditions around voting within the community to say, hey, participate in this, and let's get some patterns of behavior around voting for full participation. I think comms has a lot to do with that.
I want to ask Griff, if all of these 4 votes would happen in a span of 1 month, so we can.
Yeah, they will. All these votes only last 4 days in our DAO, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, we'll have to what we'll do is we'll start with the advice process and put them in the forum, have debates and discuss like the details, the finer details, and really nail down the pieces of each vote. And then I think it would be best to have all the votes at once. But I mean, we'll have to talk with Livia and SoftGov to decide that. But yeah. It's just nice to have all the votes at once, so that everyone has to figure out how to get to the voting interface at the same time, and they can state their opinion on every vote. But I mean, we'll see what Livia says. Maybe, yeah, we'll see. That's the next call.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Griff, for that. Are there any other issues or comments that we want to talk about?
Yeah, I just want to ask if anyone of you knows who has access to the Notion. I think someone is working on the content map, and I wanted to take a look at our content map, because there are contributors who are offering help to translate some of our articles. So I want to see what we have in the content map. Does anyone know who has access to it, or who's the admin
I didn't even know we had a
of
Notion.
Notion?
It's probably Mount Manu. Or sorry, not Mount Manu. I'm so sorry, Manu. The Manu from Manu might have access. I think if we have a notion, we got it from him from Fight Pandemics.
Oh, Manuel Suru?
Yeah.
Man Zuru, is that him? Griff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he would probably have access. Septimus, do you know?
No, not really. Not really.
I didn't even know we had a notion.
It could have been like
Yeah.
Tams or
I just got the link from the Zen Hub issue that Zero is working on, but I don't know who has the admin powers to it. So because I need access, so I could.
Jess was comms lead at the time. She would probably know for sure.
Okay, I'll ask her.
Cool. Is that all? Is that the call? Is that all our topics?
Yeah, Ivy said. Okay, yeah. Well, Ivy's probably gonna get that Notion from Manu. If not, I can help. I'm pretty good with Notion. I love it. I use it every day. So, okay. Well, if there's nothing more to add or ask about, then we can conclude this call 5 minutes before the hour.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
For
everybody.
Nate,
Thanks,
Ivy.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.